Hey guys, welcome back to Dana's Game Reviews, or DGR for short. As you can see, I'm playing some Splatoon in the background, and you'll get to see me get killed a lot because I'm not really very good at this game. So today, our discussion topic is going to be on the Nintendo 3DS, specifically why I personally believe it is time to put the 3DS to rest. This is something a lot of people have been saying. I know there was a video by Nintendo Life recently on this subject. And right now, I think that because of Nintendo's new direction, frankly, because of the massive success of the Nintendo Switch and the fact that really the Nintendo Switch has the potential to be the best of both worlds when it comes to console gaming and handheld gaming. And I think that, don't get me wrong, I love the Nintendo 3DS. Like, it might be my favorite Nintendo handheld console to date. It has some amazing games on it, like Fire Emblem Awakening, Animal Crossing, New Leaf, Luigi's Mansion, Dark Moon, Zelda: A Link Between Worlds, the Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask 3D games, and Metroid Samus Returns, just to name a few. So I absolutely adore the 3DS, but I think it's time for Nintendo to move on. I think that the Nintendo 3DS served its purpose when it was around, especially during the struggling days of the Wii U, when Nintendo's console sector was not doing so hot, and the 3DS really helped keep Nintendo afloat and remain successful, especially with all the die-hard Pokemon fans that brought it just to play games like Pokemon. And that's what it brings me to the next point. Like, a lot of the same audience that brought the 3DS, I feel like is now this audience that's buying the Switch, especially for games like Pokemon or for games like Smash Bros. Ultimate. Games that can be played on the go. And, obviously as a handheld console, the Switch still isn't perfect. It has limited battery life, but frankly, the battery life in the 3DS is also less than stellar, let's be honest. And that's one area where I think Nintendo could improve the Switch in the future, but that's a different discussion. But, there are just certain games like Pokemon that, now that they're coming to Switch, are so perfectly suited to handheld that, do we really need the 3DS anymore? I know we've heard Nintendo's president say that there's still a place for the 3DS as long as there's demand for it. And that's probably true, but after a while you start to plateau, and I think that that's kind of happened with the 3DS. The Switch is here, and it's here to stay, and it has the potential to be the best of both worlds if Nintendo chooses to put all their eggs in that basket. I for one would love to have all these games that I would normally have to buy two Nintendo consoles to play, like one handheld and one home console, now on one device. You get the big epic 3D Zelda games like Breath of the Wild, but you can also get the more top-down 2D Zelda games like A Link Between Worlds, and having them both on one console, would only be a win-win. Same with games like the Mario series. You could have games like Mario Odyssey, whereas you could have smaller scale games. Heck, they could even port Mario 3D Land and 3D World as a bundle to the Switch, which I know, ports and stuff is a controversial issue too, but still, how cool would that be? And of course, games like Smash Bros., which really are perfectly suited for both handheld and TV play. Again, it just begs the question. Why doesn't Nintendo just put all their eggs in the Switch basket? It's already such a massive success. Don't they want to reach out to as many people as possible? By doing so, they could market this thing both to the people that play 3DS games as well as the people that like playing on the big TV. And that's basically what they've been doing, but in terms of just the amount of games they would get, just the amount of games they could get on one system this way, they wouldn't have to pool, split the kinds of games going to handheld and console, because you could have both. You can have both. We're going to get a new Pokemon game for the Switch. We know that. We're probably not going to get a new one for the 3DS. We're going to get a new Animal Crossing for the Switch. We could get big epic games in smaller scale, more independent experimental games. For me, it really would be the best of both worlds. And like I said over and over again in this video, I think that the 3DS had its time, but I think now it is the time for Nintendo to let it rest, as it were, and allow the Switch to really take hold in both departments. I think that the 3DS had its time. It was a really great time, honestly. I think the 3DS is one of the best handheld systems ever made. It has some of my favorite games, not just on a handheld console, but frankly some of the best games Nintendo has ever produced are on it, in my humble opinion. But with all that to say, it was 2011 when it came out, and it's 2019 now. And Nintendo has shown that despite some hiccups, they really have shown that their new style of management, their new sort of their new way of console and game development making, and like just policy, it's been paying off in dividends with the Nintendo Switch, and I think that it'll pay off in exponentially more dividends if they do what I and many others have suggested, which is to allow the Nintendo Switch to be the ultimate Nintendo handheld and the ultimate Nintendo home console. Again, I love the Nintendo 3DS, but the Switch is where it's at right now, and I think it's time for Nintendo to allow the Switch to shine as brightly as it possibly can. And who knows, this could be like a new era of like handheld gaming with the Switch, and it's just a new era in general. Like Nintendo's been starting some new trends that have really been paying off, like I said, and I just want to see them get better and better from here. Anyway, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and like and subscribe. Tell me what you think. Do you want the 3DS to go the way of the Dodo like I do, not to put too fine a point of it, or do you want the 3DS to stick around for a few more years and see if it can get some more games? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching my videos, and take care. Bye.
Welcome.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe.